Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salamu ala rasulillah wa ba'd. Alhamdulillah, the month of Ramadan is just around the corner, and I wanted to just share a reminder about determining the month of Ramadan. So Ramadan, inshallah, at ICOI will be starting on Friday night. We'll be praying Taraweeh on Friday night, inshallah, and we'll be fasting on Saturday. So remember that the day in Islam begins after sunset. So when it's Maghrib time and the sun has gone down, that's technically the new day. So Ramadan, the first, will actually be on Friday at sunset and then continues throughout the day. Now this year what's happening is that every year what happens is that there's two ways of determining the month of Ramadan. One of them is through calculation and one of them is through sighting the moon. And there's difference of opinion among scholars regarding which method is considered to be the best one, or sometimes even considered to be the valid one. So the two main bodies of scholars, of ulama in America are AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, and the FCNA, the Fiqh Council of North America. And there's others, but these are the two main ones. And AMJA, the Assembly of Muslim Jurists of America, believes that the moon should be sighted and calculation should not be used as a principle. But at the same time, they assert, Sheikh Salah Sawi and the rest of the council, Dr. Ma'in Qudha and so many others, they all have said, but calculation is an acceptable and valid way of determining the month as well. And the Fiqh Council of North America says that calculation is the correct method and the optimal way of determining the month. So what's going to happen this year? This happens some years, that the moon is actually quite difficult to see this Friday. If you look at the visibility maps, it's going to be quite difficult in the rest of the world. The place where the moon is most likely going to be seen is right here in California and in Mexico and on the west coast of the Americas. So I think it's very important, number one, for the unity of the Muslim Ummah, or at least the unity of our own community, if people can go with their families or with themselves, go up to a rooftop or go to a hill or something like that and try to sight the new crescent. Because what that's going to do, if someone in this area, if it is one of the only places in the world, or one of the only places in the world where the crescent is visible, trying to go inside it is actually going to help the Muslim community. So some people are organizing events. One of them is in Diamond Bar, another one is in Irvine with the Majlis and other places. Try to go and do that and report your sighting into your local masjid, inshallah, or to our masjid. The second thing is that sometimes families get split because of the day that Ramadan starts, or sometimes the day of Eid. Families within their own community are not celebrating Ramadan or fasting Ramadan or celebrating Eid on the same day. And this should not be the case. Regardless of what your position is, regardless of what your opinion is, you have to understand that these kind of differences, they happened throughout history. So I'm going to narrate to you one hadith from Sahih Muslim, when it's narrated on the authority of Qurayb. Qurayb reported that al-Fadl bint al-Harith ba'athathu ila Muawiyah bisham. So this woman sent Harith, her son, to Syria when Muawiyah was the Khalifa at the time. فَقَدِمْتُ الشَّامِ فَقَضَيْتُ حَاجَتَهَا وَاسْتُحِلَّ عَلَيَّ رَمَضَانَ وَأَنَا بِالشَّامِ. So he says, I went to Syria, Muawiyah was the Khalifa, I did my job, and I realized that the month of Ramadan had started at this time already. So then he said, فَرَأَيْتُ الْهِلَالَ لَيْلَةَ الْجُمْعَةِ ثُمَّ قَدِمْتُ الْمَدِينَةَ فِي آخِرِ الشَّهْرِ فَسَأَلَنِي عَبْدُ اللَّهِ بْنِ عَبَّاسِ رَضِيَ اللَّهُ عَنْهُمَا ثُمَّ ذَكَرَ الْهِلَالَ. So he says, I started fasting the month of Ramadan, and we saw it on Friday in Syria, which is similar to what the situation that's happening with us today. And then he said, I went back to Medina near the end of Ramadan to go and celebrate Eid, and Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anhuma, one of the great companions, one of the most knowledgeable of the Sahaba, one of the scholars amongst the Sahaba, he came and he asked me about what happened in Syria, when are they fasting? And when did they see the moon and what's going on? So he explained to him, ثُمَّ ذَكَرَ الْهِلَالَ فَقَالَ مَتَى رَأَيْتُمُ الْهِلَالَ. He said, when did you see the hilal? He said, فَقُلْتُ رَأَيْنَاهُ لَيْلَةَ الْجُمْعَةِ. We saw it on Friday. فَقَالَ أَنْتَ رَأَيْتَ. Did you see it yourself? So he said, فَقُلْتُ نَعَمْ. I saw it with my own eyes. I saw it myself. He says, وَرَآهُ النَّاسِ وَصَامُوا وَصَامَ مُعَاوِيَةً. He says, all the people saw it, and we fasted, and the Khalifa Muawiyah fasted as well at the time. So فَقَالَ لَكِنَّا رَأَيْنَاهُ لَيْلَةَ السَّبْتِ فَلَا نَزَالُ نَصُومُ حَتَّى نُكْمِلَ 30 أَوْ تَرَى. So Abdullah ibn Abbas said, but we saw it on Saturday, and we're going to keep fasting unless we see the crescent, or we're going to complete 30 days. Meaning we're not going to follow the same calendar as you're following, even though you saw it but we didn't see it. Now this is a difference of opinion in fiqh, which is known as ikhtilaf al-matali' and ittihad al-matali'. We're not going to get into the details of the fiqh, but what you need to understand is during the time of the Sahaba, these issues used to happen. And what happened? Some of them took this position. Abdullah ibn Abbas took one position. The other Sahaba who were living in Syria or in other places, they took a different position. Were they fighting? Were they arguing? Did they stop talking to each other? No. So despite the fact that there is a difference of opinion in an issue like this, it's number one important to understand what the difference is. You can have your own opinion and you can say, I believe this is the correct representation of what Allah and His Messenger ﷺ had intended. But there are times where you give up your own opinion out of akhlaq, out of adab, out of unity of your entire family. And inshallah, this Friday may be one of those cases. So I want to prepare you for that. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give us a deep fiqh in this deen, a deep understanding of this deen. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among the people who have the best character and the best manners. Ameen. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Nastaghfirukallah wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.